What makes a great graphic novel? Writing, yes. Artwork, of course. But also, much like any fiction or non-fiction, impact. Do you think of it fondly whilst nursing a warm mug of hot chocolate, pondering the good times you shared? Maybe not, but is it memorable? Did it leave an impression? Would you recommend it? And to whom? Today we look at those ones, the ones that left a mark. A hot chocolate stain, if you like. Before we get into our list, we interrupt this broadcast to invite you to like the video, leave us a comment, and subscribe to the channel for general hard nerd content. Now back to graphic novels, and we open with Bone, written and illustrated by Jeff Smith. I absolutely adore Bone. I would recommend Bone to everyone. In its 55-issue run, the story follows the Bone cousins, Phone Bone, Smiley Bone, and Phony Bone. Cast out of their hometown of Boneville after an unfortunate political drama, they happen upon a map that leads them on a grand adventure. Bone is full of humour, some of it quiche-based, some of it not, fantastic characters, fun artwork, and ridiculous scenarios. In a comic landscape dominated by dark, gritty drama and tragedy, in my limited experience anyway, this is a very welcome, light-hearted, hilarious yarn. Next up we have Mao, written and illustrated by Art Spiegelman. The story divides time between past and present. In the present, Spiegelman interviews his father about his Holocaust experience. In the past, these experiences are illustrated on the page, with Jews depicted as mice and others, German and Polish people, depicted as cats and pigs. This choice of art style only adds to what is an already emotional and intense story. The reader is gifted with a glimpse at Spiegelman's incredibly personal journey, and it's a privilege. A worthy winner of the Pulitzer Prize, which was awarded in 1992, the only graphic novel to win. Third on the list is Watchmen. There was always going to be an Alan Moore on this list. From Hell and The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen were close behind. To the backdrop of the Cold War, in an alternative reality, a group of superheroes, lacking in any actual superpowers save for Dr. Manhattan, investigate the murder of one of their own. Who watches the Watchmen, indeed. Consistently grim would be a sound way to describe the story. Grim with a powerhouse ending. It's a great shame they didn't bring that ending to the big screen. There's a lot going on in the story, heaps of characters, various plot threads, which I love. It's not an easy feat juggling so much in a narrative, but Moore makes it work. Unpopular opinion alert, I'm not a massive fan of the artwork here, but I do like how some of the characters are drawn. Rorschach especially, one of the greatest comic characters ever, complete with some of the best lines. Hair-raising at number 4 is the gigantic beard that was evil. Forgive me, it's harder than you think, trimming down a decent facial hair pun. Written and directed by Stephen Collins, this offering takes us through many of life's challenges. Identity, death, beards. When is a beard too long? The answer can be found in this graphic novel. Set in the town of Here, the story follows Dave, the Bangles, and a distinct lack of facial hair until along comes a beard. If you've ever encountered an unruly beard, you'll feel Dave's pain. It's funny, sad, and beautifully drawn. The artwork, the shading, is gorgeous. I've not read anything like it before, and that goes for the title as well. Halfway through and we land on Saga, written by Brian K. Vaughan and illustrated by Fiona Staples. Spanning over several years, Saga follows Alana and Marco, star-crossed lovers navigating a galaxy-spanning war. Alana has wings. Marco has horns. She's from Landfall, he's from Wreath. 2 territories at war. A little Shakespearean, a little bit Star Wars, a little bit Lord of the Rings, a little bit The Expanse. The story is quite a ride. In a world of very weird plot decisions and radical characters, you never know what you're going to get. It makes for a very interesting and unpredictable read. By far my favourite character is Lion Cat, a big cat that knows when characters are lying. Both very funny and very ferocious. And incidentally available as a pop vinyl figure, something I found out only very recently. onwards we lurch to The Walking Dead, written by Robert Kirkman and illustrated by Tony Moore and Charlie Adlard. I started reading this series after The Walking Dead TV series launched, and I saw that it was based on a comic. It was in fact the series that began my love of graphic novels and comics. It follows a group of survivors led by Rick Grimes as they muddle their way through a zombie apocalypse. It's full of impactful moments and characters, many of which can be seen in the TV series. The choice of a black and white art style is a great fit for the narrative. It's heavy going until the end. Absolutely nothing is solved by a cup of tea and a decent biscuit. It's dire and dull, and one bad day after another. Hopefully not how the zombie apocalypse is going to play out in real life when it occurs. Out of the shadows enter 30 Days of Night, written by Steve Niles and illustrated by Ben Templesmith. Crossover alert, this comic does feature in another of our videos, Top 10 Horror Graphic Novels. It's a multi-list winner. The link is in the description should you want some horror-specific recommendations. The story sees a small town in Alaska attempt to survive a vampire invasion during a 30-day winter. In my opinion, this comic depicts vampires as they should be, and Templesmith's awesome artwork is some of my favourite. I'm currently reading Wormwood, Gentleman Corpse, which is another of Templesmith's gems, quite a different tone to this vampire feast. On the home stretch we find Blankets, a story about childhood and first love, written and illustrated by Craig Thompson. We follow a teenage Craig as he meets his first love, Raina, at a Christian camp. Alongside the exploration of their relationship, the story takes us back to Craig's early years via flashbacks and the relationship he has with his younger brother, Phil. As with some of our other offerings, this is a deeply personal story for the author, from small discoveries, digging up bones in the garden, to somewhat larger discoveries, the relationship he has with religion and his parents, for example. It's an open, honest, sometimes harrowing journey with some beautiful accompanying artwork. I particularly love how Thompson draws faces. Bit of a random one, but those are my notes. Great faces and lovely smooth lines. I never said I was an art critic. For our penultimate choice we have The Long Halloween. As seen in another of our videos, Top 10 Batman graphic novels, again, link in the description for your perusal. In The Long Halloween, written by Jeff Loeb and illustrated by Tim Sale, Dream Team, Batman is at his detective best. Investigating a series of murders committed over different holidays, Halloween as an example, Batman, Jim Gordon and Harvey Dent encounter a substantial number of Gotham's major players. I love this story and the accompanying Dark Victory. It's a great detective story which I think is really where Batman absolutely soars, and the artwork is just really cool. Again, my expert art critic opinion. A new run in the series titled The Last Halloween is due to launch this month. Lastly, we have The Crow, written and illustrated by James O'Barr. In the story of The Crow, Eric Draven returns from the dead to avenge his death and that of his fiancée, Shelley, at the hands of T-Bird and his vile street gang. The tone of the story is desperately sad, intense and poetic. It's beautifully written, with much of Eric's dialogue feeling like one long poem or song lyric, and the artwork is both elegant and chaotic. It is a challenging read, but well worth your time. The special edition of the comic released in 2011 has some new pages and author details, so I recommend grabbing that version if you plan to read it. And that's your lot for now. There are, however, always more amazing graphic novels and comics to discuss. Let us know your thoughts on the choices in this list. And as always, have fun storming the castle. Thanks very much for listening. If you'd like to contact us or check out what we've been up to, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. If you enjoyed the video today, please do like it, subscribe to the channel, and ding the bell to receive notifications about new videos. See you in the next one.